Okay, so I got my alder body Strat here, and I'm going to try this aging process for the wood. I'm going for John Mayer's black Strat. That's a relic. I like that aged, weathered, raw wood look. So again, I'm not going to replicate John Mayer's guitar, but it's going to be kind of similar. Okay, anyway, so the guitar is out of the way now. And so what I've got here is some tea. I've got maybe 2 cups of water and I think 8 small tea bags. It smells great. It's Earl Grey. But yeah, so that's been sitting for a couple hours. It's lukewarm temperature. And then this concoction is it's vinegar and steel wool. There was a bunch, like a big ball of steel wool in there, and now it's dissolved. I let it sit for like 2 days. I've heard a day is good, but it really didn't do much in a day. But 2 days was really good. So I would say give it 2 days at least. Steel wool is really dissolved in there. So I'm going to strain this with like a coffee filter to get all the metal out of it. And then I'll put it in like a glass something or another, some container. And then I'm going to get some paintbrushes, some foam paintbrushes, and then we'll go from there. So real quick, I'm gonna put the body of the guitar on these little plastic. These are not real screws; they're just toys that my kids have. And so I'm gonna put those right there. Put those something like that, and just rest the body on that when it's ready to dry. So it'll be up off the floor, which is not super important, I don't think, at this point. I may turn it around and just kind of, but it should dry fairly quickly. Okay, I got my vinegar solution with the steel wool dissolved, and I strained it out. And then I've got my tea solution here. Now, I've heard different methods of doing which one first versus the second, but I saw a video where a guy did it in real time, and he put the tea on first, and then let it dry a little bit, and then put on this stuff, and he basically just let the camera roll, and you can kind of see it change in front of you. So I'm going to do his method since I saw it work with my own eyes. I'm going to use different applicator brush for each one, and I've never done this before, so you're going to see it all happen. I don't think I'm going to use all this tea, but we'll see. Hopefully I won't need more. I've got way more tea than I do of the other stuff. It took a long time to strain out the metal out of the solution, so I got sort of impatient, and I only have as much as you see. So if need be, maybe I can do the front and then the back or something like that if I run out. And all these spots won't matter necessarily. They'll be covered up by the pickguard, obviously, but just while I'm at it, I'll just do that. Okay. So yeah, this is what it's looking like so far. I'm gonna cut the camera off because you don't need to see all this happen. And then I'll turn it back on once I do the other solution. Okay, so you can see this is kind of drying out slowly. And the idea is to, if I didn't say so before, the idea is the tannin in the tea is going to soak into the fibers of the wood, and then that tannin is going to react with this steel wool vinegar solution and make it look gray and weathered. Or at least that's how I hope it turns out. And then I will also say that I did sand the body with 220 grit sandpaper before I did this, and I even I tried to raise the grain, which I don't know a lot about, which I've never done before, but I read about. And so I kind of wetted the wood a little bit and then let it dry. And what that's supposed to do is raise up the fibers and then go back over it with sandpaper to take those off and make it smoother. And that is also supposed to, I believe, enhance the grain a little bit. So yeah, I got a little tea on my other brush here. But yeah, so we'll let that dry and then we'll come back and do the other solution and see what happens. All right, now the fun part. I forgot to mention the type of vinegar I used, by the way. I used mostly apple cider, but I ran out of that and we had some white vinegar, so I put some of that in there as well. If you're interested in the recipe, that's what I did. And oh, also, I want to note that there's a bit of discoloration right there. If you can see that, right where the neck pickup goes, and I believe that's from my finger oil. So be careful when you're handling something like this. I've been careful to grab it like this, and when I do grab it, and I probably should be wearing gloves or something. But just to be aware that that will show up, the oils, I believe, if you get that soaked into the wood, and may not come out. So yeah, so let's put this stuff on and see what happens. Okay, so you probably don't want to watch me do this whole thing, so I will cut the camera off and come back. All right, so it's on there and it is drying and aging as we speak, and yeah, so you can obviously see the cavities that were the original color and some splatter in there, but I don't really care about that. Um, and this is not going to be the final finish of the body. What I plan on doing is the next step will be taping off the areas that I want to remain wood, because again I'm doing a relic, and so I'm going to tape the areas off that I want wood, and then I'm going to do the spray of the sand sealer, and then the black nitrocellulose, which I don't actually have yet. I'm still getting from Stuart McDonald. They ran out of that stuff, so they're going to ship it later. And then I'll do the clear coats, take the tape off, I guess, and yeah. So that's the plan, but I really just wanted to show this. I couldn't find this anywhere on that anybody had done on the internet with an altered body, at least a video. So just so you can see this and see how it looks. Hopefully this area will dry out a little bit. I think I may have gotten this area a little soaked, but it's looking really cool, and thus far I'm really happy with it. So I'll let it dry a little bit, and then I'll show you what it looks like in maybe 30 minutes or so. Okay, I honestly don't know how long it's been. I haven't really kept track of the time, but you can see in the middle here where the pickups are, it's drying the fastest, and it's really turning into a lighter gray over here a little bit too. So the whole thing should look a little bit like that, darker in certain places. I really like the places where the green's coming out. This area right here doesn't, I don't know, we'll see. But this will be where like arm sweat would be anyway, I guess. So it might be darker, naturally aged. But I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. I wanted it to be kind of gray, and I've seen other people do like a walnut stain for the John Mayer type effect, and to me some of that looked a little too dark. So we'll see how this what this turns out to be. But right now I'm really liking it. I'll show you the back while it's drying. Back seems to be not drying as fast. Some dog hair on my guitar there. So we'll let it go some more, and then I'll check back in and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so here's what we got. It's probably been over an hour, but I believe this part is still a little damp, as is some parts here, here, and here, as you can see. But and then I've got a few spots where the pretend nails were. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job of looking at the camera here. So yeah, so there's some wet spots here and here, and I think this is still a little wet. So yeah, it looks really cool. I'm really pleased with it. Almost don't want to cover it up, but the majority of it is going to be covered up in black paint, the nitrocellulose black. And so yeah, so and then some of the parts I'm probably going to go over in sand, like to make look even more worn and give it a little bit of texture and dynamic, if you will. But yeah, there's the original color, and it's looks really weathered. There's probably maybe some oils and things that you know, might have shown up. And thankfully, this is going to be a relic guitar. It's not going to be like, you know, sealed over, stained, colored guitar. So there's going to be room for flaws, which is good because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go. So that's good. I have some leeway there. But I will try to keep you up to date and keep you up to speed on the project. So the next step again is to like tape off and then do the rest of the finish and then put all the pieces together. So that's it for now. So let me get this out of the way.